Hiya! Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Tabby. Guys, today I took a walk down memory lane and I made the most amazing traditional Brazilian stroganoff. It is absolutely delicious. I've already tasted it. I know it's amazing. My mouth is watering looking at this bowl, and I think you guys are going to be absolutely floored by this recipe. You're going to absolutely love it. So let's have some fun and let's get cooking. All right, friends, let's get this put together because I am hungry and I've been thinking about this all day. So I have already cut up my chicken into some small cubes. I just used some little chicken cutlets, chicken breast cutlet strips, and just chopped those up into some cubes. And now I'm going to add some seasoning to this. And then we're going to let that sit and marinate while we work on the other steps. So in first is my garlic powder. That's just to taste. If you like a lot, you can add a lot. This is nutmeg. I know that sounds like kind of a strange ingredient, but do not leave it out. It doesn't take very much, just a little dash of it in there. And then we're gonna turn my lights down by accident. And then we're gonna do some pepper. And you know I like my fresh cracked pepper. I think it's the best pepper to use. And then we're gonna add some salt to that. I'm just gonna give it a couple of good pinches of salt. And then we're going to drizzle some olive oil. And as always, I will put the recipe in the comments. I'll put just a little bit more. I will put the recipe in the comments with all of the measurements and everything you need. And then the last thing that we're going to do is half of a lemon. We're going to put the juice from half of a lemon. And that's going to help to tenderize that chicken. Although it was already pretty tender, but that's going to add a really good flavor. Now you could also use red wine vinegar if you wanted. I just like the little punch of lemon. I think, it's not super noticeable when you eat the meal, but I just think I like that better than the red wine vinegar. All right, now we're just going to give this a good stir to coat all of that chicken in those seasonings and the oil, the lemon juice. Just give it a good mix. You can see there, it's just mixed up really well. Just give it a good stir. All right, now we're going to set this aside so that it can marinate while we work on the other stuff. So now we're going to take bell pepper. This is about a half of a small bell pepper. And I'm going to cut this into small slices. You can dice this up as big or as small as you want. And actually, if you don't like red pepper, you can leave it out if you want. I like the flavor that it adds, so I like to put red pepper in there. You could also add mushrooms if you wanted, just some, white mushrooms, and chop those up pretty small. We don't care for mushrooms in ours, but you can absolutely do that if you wanted to. This brings back so many memories of living in Brazil. I had the sweetest lady. I think I've told you guys before, it was very common in Brazil, especially working for an American company, to have someone help you in the kitchen and cleaning the house and all. And being a newly married, very young lady, it was really nice to have her there. Her name was Dalva, and very sweet lady. She just kind of became like another mom to me, and she really taught me a lot about cooking, and she helped me a lot with my Portuguese too. She helped me learn Portuguese. So yeah, she did a lot of cooking with me in the kitchen. Now I'm dicing these up pretty small, and like I said, it's about a half of a small red bell pepper. Now I've never tried any other kind of bell pepper. If you wanted to try a green or an orange or a yellow, you probably could. But the red bell peppers are a little on the sweet side, so I think that adds a really good flavor. So that's what I like to use, is the red bell pepper. And this is kind of my own recipe. I've taken two different recipes and kind of blended the two of them together. Traditionally, when we lived in Brazil, when they made this, most people made it using ketchup instead of tomato paste or tomato sauce. So one of the recipes that I use calls for tomato paste and tomato sauce. The other one calls for ketchup. So I like to use both. I think that the wealthier people in Brazil probably used the tomato paste and the tomato sauce. whereas the not so wealthy probably used the ketchup. My maid, or the lady Dalva that helped me, she was my maid, but she was more like a friend. She always used ketchup in hers. She never used tomato sauce. So when she taught me to make it, we used the tomato ketchup. Now I'm going to dice this onion up pretty small. I don't want the chunks of onion in there to be too big and overpowering. So I'm gonna cut them up pretty small. And I'm using probably a half of a large onion, a little more than half maybe of a large onion. And like I said, you can leave out the pepper and you can leave out the mushroom, but I wouldn't leave out the onion. The onion, I think, is pretty important. Let's just get this chopped going the other way now. I've got my oil heating up on the stove too. You want to heat that up on medium-high heat. You don't want to get it too hot, but you want it pretty warm when you put these onions in there. All right, so I've got my onion and my bell pepper. Check my oil. It's getting pretty good there. Warming up pretty good. We'll know when we put it in if we hear the sizzle. That's what you want. That's a good sizzle. All right, so we are going to cook these veggies. We're going to cook the onion and the bell pepper. So we're going to cook that in that oil until that onion starts to be translucent and soften up. That's probably going to take 5 or 6 minutes. So I'm going to stir this for 5 or 6 minutes and I'll be right back. All right, so you can see those onions have started to get nice and translucent and soften up. You don't want to put a lot of oil in there because you've got oil in the chicken that we have marinating. So you don't need to put a lot of oil in the pan. And those onions and peppers are going to release some juice and some water also. But you do want to stir them so that they don't get too done. All right, now what we're going to do, now that those are nice and translucent, we're going to add our minced garlic. Now you can mince fresh garlic if you want, or you can use it out of the jar. So we're going to put that in. It's about a tablespoon of minced garlic, and you just want to cook that for about 25 or so seconds, 25 to 30 seconds. If you think it's getting too hot, you can turn it down a little bit because you don't want to burn the garlic, and garlic will burn very quickly. So you want to make sure that you don't have it too hot. And I did turn it down. I'm actually going to turn it down a little bit more. I'm going to put it on medium. Just let that cook for about 25 to 30 seconds. Just going to kind of eyeball it. Sure smells good. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and add my chicken. Move that spoon out of the way. In goes the chicken. Scrape out that nice lemon juice and olive oil. So now we're just going to cook that chicken in here, stirring it around, getting all of those nice flavors combined. And you want to cook it until that chicken is completely white. You don't want to see any pink at all on the chicken. All right, so I'm going to let this cook, stirring it frequently, not continuously, but just stir it frequently and let that cook. And then when it's all white and ready for the next step, I'll be right back. All right, guys, it's been about 8 minutes, and you can see here that chicken is nice and white. Released a lot of nice juice in there, so there's a lot of nice juicy broth down in the bottom. So what we're going to do now is keep it set on about 6. I did turn it back up just a little bit to about 6, so medium high. And now we are going to add 1/3 of a cup of water. I'm going to add some tomato paste. This is where I'm mixing the two together. I'm just going to do a good healthy tablespoon of the tomato paste. And then we're going to add just about a tablespoon or so of mustard. And the ketchup. The ketchup is going to be the most. I'm probably going to put at least a third of a cup of ketchup in there. I don't really measure it. I just squirt it in, so measure with your heart. But I'd say it's at least a third of a cup. A very full third of a cup, let's put it that way. Probably not quite a half a cup, but very full third of a cup. And then we're gonna stir all of that together. And you have to let this cook now and bring it to a boil. And I may actually, I think I'm gonna add a little more ketchup. That still doesn't look quite the right color to me. Oh, it smells amazing though. Golly, it smells good. That's gonna do it. Oh yeah, that's gonna do it right there. So you can see, I hope you can see okay, the color of that. And now we're just gonna leave it sit here and we're gonna let it simmer really nice for about 10 minutes or so. We want that chicken to make sure that chicken is really cooked all the way through. And of course I cut those up in pretty small pieces, so it's not going to take too awfully long, but just about 10 minutes. We're going to let that simmer. And then at the end of those 10 minutes, we're going to put in our special ingredient, the crème de leite. That is the best stuff ever. It's so good. It's kind of like a heavy whipping cream, but you don't have to refrigerate it. And I don't know, there's just something different about the flavor between this and heavy whipping cream. It's sinful. That's what this is. It's just sinful. It's so good. It's just delicious. All right, I'm gonna let this simmer for about 10 minutes. It is boiling already, so I am gonna, whoops, that was Dale's timer. I'm gonna let this simmer for about 10 minutes, and it is boiling, so you do wanna make sure that you kind of stir it occasionally. Don't walk away from it. You wanna give it a stir every now and then so it doesn't stick to the bottom, okay? But I will be back in just a second, and then we will take it to the next step. Be right back. Okay, it's been about 8 minutes, and I think this is looking really good. I think that is looking just absolutely perfect, and it smells so good, so good. All right, so I'm gonna leave it about right there, and that way you can still see it. Now, we are going to add in our crème de leite. And we want to make sure we get all of that out of the can. We don't want to leave any of that goodness in that can. Now remember, I told you Hi Brazil Market is where I got this, and I will link them a link to their Facebook page, and I will put their website also in the comments so that you'll have that. So I'm going to put that in there. And now we're going to give that a good stir. I want you to know I was tempted to lick my finger just now with that crème de leite on there. But since you guys were watching, I did not do it. But I would absolutely lick that right off of a spoon. It is absolutely delicious. Now, oh, you guys, I wish you could smell this. Look at that. Look at that color. Is that not absolutely beautiful? Oh my word. All right, now we have to let this simmer for about 5 minutes on medium low. So I'm turning my heat down to about 3.5, and I'm gonna let this simmer for about 5 minutes just to let it kind of thicken up a little bit. And then as soon as it is thick, we are gonna taste it because I cannot hardly wait. All right, guys, 5 minutes is up. I've let it rest for a minute and I can't take it any longer. So we've got to give this a try. So I have some rice that I made, just some jasmine rice in my rice cooker. And now I'm going to put some of my stroganoff right on top. Okay, now the final touch. Gnocchi Batata Palha Tradicional. That means traditional fried potato sticks. Fried potato, but they're just little potato sticks. You want to get these, you don't want to leave these out. So you're gonna take a little bit of those fried potatoes, sprinkle it right on top. And that is how you serve the best stroganoff ever. I think the best stroganoff ever. And I'll tell you, both of my boys came for lunch today. We did not have stroganoff, because Tuesdays, it's Meatloaf Tuesday at the little place down the road. I told you, Goodfellas Pizza, and they have a lunch special on Tuesdays. It's Meatloaf Tuesday, and it is the best. If you live anywhere in the southern Indiana area, make a little drive up I-65 to exit 19, hop off there, go right down the road just a little bit. There's a little off the beaten path, hole in the wall place called Goodfellas. They make the best meatloaf on Tuesday, but you got to get there early because they make it for lunch and it will sell out fast. They go through it very fast. But I'm telling you, I don't even make meatloaf. I don't even attempt it because that meatloaf is so good. I can't eat it. The boys eat it, but they came today and had lunch with their dad. They brought lunch, and so all of them had lunch. I had something else. But anyway, I let them taste the beef stroganoff that I made a little bit earlier today because I made 2 batches, 1 beef and 1 chicken. And I let them taste it, and they said it was really, really good. All 3 of them gave it a 10. So that should tell you. All right, so I'm gonna get a little bite here. I've got the rice, got some chicken, got some potato on there. Oh, you guys, my mouth is watering. This makes you want to do a happy dance. Oh my word, you guys. The garlic, the onion, the tomato flavor is perfect. Those little bits of crunchiness from the potatoes, those little potato sticks. The chicken is perfectly tender and cooked really, really well. I don't know what else to say other than it is absolutely amazing. This is a little bit of heaven. You guys have to make this. You have got to make it. It looks like there's a lot of ingredients, and there's a lot of ingredients. I'm not gonna say there's not. Not very many steps though. It's very easy to put together. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. Cook your rice and you are good to go. Serve that with some veggies on the side, some green beans or some mixed vegetables on the side. Oh, you're set. You are absolutely set. It's absolutely delicious. Traditional Brazilian Stroganoff. It is the way to go. You guys have got to make this. Just make sure, High Brazil Market, you can get your Nestle crème de leite, and you can get your Batata Palha on High Brazil Market. I will tag them, their Facebook page and their website, so that you can hop on there and get some. And make sure and tell Rebecca, if you call her, make sure and tell her I said hello, oi, and that I'm sending her hugs, abrazos. And guys, I'm sending you hugs too. And I appreciate you being here with me in my kitchen. I appreciate you being on this journey with me. I appreciate the recipe recommendations. I've had more recipes coming in, so we've got more follower recipes that I'm gonna be making soon. I have a special pie that Miss Regina sent me. I'm gonna be making that one for Pie Day in March. So be looking for that. It's a really good, very light and summery. I think it's gonna be a really good pie for the summertime. So if you're watching this on Facebook, what do I need you to do? I need you to spread it around, just like some good butter. Spread this video around so your friends and family can see how fun it is to be in the kitchen, get inspired to make something different, something traditional, but maybe not traditional for them, that is absolutely delicious. Like, comment, and spread this video around. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and then hit that notification bell all so that you never miss a video whenever I post it. I don't want you to miss out on any of these recipes. Just in case you haven't heard it today, in case no one's told you, I want you to know that God loves you. He loves you just the way you are, and you are enough. Remember that He is the silent listener at every conversation and the unseen guest at every dinner table. So make sure that our words are uplifting, edifying, loving on each other, and shining our light, because that's what we're called to do. I love you all. I'm sending you big hugs, and I hope you have a great evening, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.